Give me a call on that. In the meantime, a report has found that young people with sensory impairments can budget, understand their entitlements and improve access to finance in university. The report comes off the heels of a Tory MP, Sally Ann Hart, who said that people with disabilities should be paid less because some don't understand money. The study by UK charities MyBnk said that the Royal Association for Deaf People has analysed data and say if exposed to expert-led financial education, confidence can be built to engage with and tackle financial hurdles. Well, Steve Korris, who's Expansion and Impact Director at MyBnk, said a charity which helps young people manage their money in London schools and youth organisation joins me now. Good morning to you, Steve.
Good morning.
Good morning. Explain to me why this was said. I mean, the idea that disabled people don't understand money.
Well, sure. I'm clearly not going to get involved particularly too much on the comments of the Tory candidate. I mean, I think what is true is that young people across the UK, whether they've got a sight or audio impairment, struggle to manage their money. That comes across. When you've got over 1 million young people who are struggling to, make ends meet in terms of using high-cost credit on a monthly basis. I guess probably what is true, though, is that it's then accentuated if you then have any other accessibility issues. So, as you say, we worked with the Royal Association for the Deaf on a project, thanks to the People's Postcode Lottery, to try and support young people with audio impairment to manage their money well. And of course, what you realise, I'm personally not an expert in young people with audio issues. I'm an expert in young people with financial education sort of issues, I guess. And I guess what you realise then is even before we look at the technical areas of financial capability and all the terminology that banks would use, whether it be AERs and APRs and all the rest of it, is of course that, if you're deaf, English is your second language. You've got British Sign Language as your first language, at which point there's already sort of accessibility issues into the world of banking and finance before you've even got to a lot of the technical terms that everyone doesn't understand anyway.
Yeah, I mean, look, with or without impairments of any kind, understanding the banking system, understanding, like you said, the APRs and it's difficult enough, isn't it? And it's always been a criticism that young people are taught logarithms at school, but not how to manage a mortgage.
Well, I think that's exactly true. So, financial education has been sort of a nominal part of the national curriculum at secondary school age for the last few years, but it's not particularly taught widely with any sort of scale or quality. At which point you're absolutely right. We do prepare our young people in some, very well in some ways in terms of their maths and English, which is incredibly important. But fundamentally, if we're also, educating young people to, take part in a wider society and they're not able to manage their money well, whether that be sort of thinking about their own habits and things they're spending it on, whether it's about engaging in financial products, whether it's about ability to handle and engage with risk, in all sorts of different areas of managing your money or otherwise, then yes, absolutely, it is a big problem.
I've always wondered why in maths classes, because, working out a mortgage or working out an interest rate or, working out savings or whatever, they're highly mathematical to the point that I just give up. Like, I was hopeless at maths at school, absolutely hopeless. But because it didn't seem to apply. I thought, well, how am I ever going to use this? What am I ever going to do? Are you going to measure the square footage for a carpet? No, I'll get somebody else to do that. So surely if we make maths applicable, it's going to be good on both sides. First side is that they learn something that is of value, and the second side is that maths becomes more interesting.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think there are 2 points there. There's one is clearly having a basic level of maths and ability to sort of understand percentages and all the rest of it is incredibly important, so that you can look at something and work it out. But actually also, I'd say fundamentally one of the key issues is the engagement issue. Because, if you're looking at, salaries and tax bands as an example, clearly you could get out the calculator and work out your personal allowance and your 20% rate and your 40% rate and your NI, et cetera, et cetera. But actually, the real kind of key thing is the ability to engage in a topic that you might not be able to understand, and then say, okay, well, how would I go about doing this? Okay, well, actually, I can go online and find a salary calculator website pretty easily. So I don't have to necessarily do any of the math myself. So actually, the sort of ability to engage in a topic you're not particularly confident in is actually more important, I would say. So that hurdle of confidence is a really important one to be able to manage your money well.
I just wonder how many people just look at their pay statement and go, oh, that must be right, and don't check it. I'm certainly one of them. Steve, thank you very much indeed. Steve Korris, Expansion and Impact Director at MyBnk, a charity which helps young people manage their money.